here in Vegas. Bob Crawford on top of the world. Show stats. That is the most he's ever allowed a fighter to hit him with.
You see it? Can you hear me? You can't hear me over it, can you?
And Kelbrook having difficulty with that left eye, pawing at it with his glove, wincing in pain.
Yeah, I'm saying something right now.
So while Triple G fractured his right orbital bone, Errol Spence making a mess of Kelbrook's left eye here.
What if you hear that nigga over the background talking, man, we looking at AM Sports, they got the same angle. Huh?
He's taking the knee.
No, it's not off. Cut it off? Why?
Worst thing to not have my tripod.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody over here by the banner, please take a seat. You guys go ahead and take the empty seats and stay away from this banner here. Thank you.
When they did a lot of things, and they proved that. No, they didn't. That is a lie. They said that. No, there was no data saying that. Okay, I looked this up, and I'm not looking on Google. So I know the text and the message that I hope they don't.
Well, and I just not people.
Yeah, that doesn't say that it's because the animal liver cuts it down to a point where it's not I mean, but I think about it, all yeah, but that's
no, I wouldn't have known this. I was
ray of light come through.
I don't care, but when you make a guy wait, he's not I can't believe this one. And I know what he has to do.
Okay, you probably can hear me talking now. I had my mic on mute. I'm trying not to eat while you guys while this happens. So just letting the press conference go, and then we'll jump back in and talk about it.
If you think about it, see, I know you should have been a lawyer.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again.
No, I just know that these shit was a lot. That's not.
That's the happiest I've ever seen.
Spence Jr. is one of the best boxers on planet Earth. And down goes Terence You got the 3 belts. What's next?
And now the unified welterweight champion of the world.
Everybody know who I'm on next. I want Terence Crawford next.
I do believe this is the perfect time. You got 2 great fighters in their prime for all the marvels. It's going to be an exciting fight. I just can't wait for it to happen.
That's the fight we all want to see. There's been a back and forth a lot with you and Crawford.
I want to smoke. Right now, I'm looking at Terence Crawford
for Undisputed. This is a big moment for not only myself, but for Errol Spence Jr.
Saturday, July 29th. We're going to crown you first four-belt Undisputed champion in 147-pound history. The wait is over. Watch me fry this speech.
Yeah, I know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New York City. Saturday, July 29th on Showtime pay-per-view from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The undisputed welterweight championship of the world is on the line between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. And now, let's meet the champions.
D to the king. These niggas mad. Mad because of
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage with the record of 39 wins, no losses, 30 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a three-division world champion from Omaha, Nebraska. Please welcome the reigning and defending WBO welterweight champion of the world. Here is Terence Bud Crawford.
Gilbert, strap baby Gilbert Arenas. Keep it timing like Pam and Gina. Fact is, I'm that nigga, you gon' have to face it like Neutrogena. Nothing you can do to stop me, I'm in my own lane, you can't slow me down. I guarantee that if I'm the one.
What? You can cut out that other shit.
Hey, yo, hey.
Yeah. Run it up, Rondo. Run it up, Rondo.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a record of 28 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout from DeSoto, Texas. He is the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF welterweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Errol the Truth Spence Jr.
Used to think Pepsi was a god before he went to heaven. I knew what pushing P was before Gunna even said it. Hey, C0 taught me keep my weapon. Ain't never touched a nigga or a bitch cause disrespected. No
Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, the undisputed welterweight championship of the world is on the line. Someone's own's got to go on Saturday, July 29th on Showtime pay-per-view. Presented by Premier Boxing Champions. It's Spence Jr. versus Crawford for welterweight supremacy.
Big shout out to them boys and I can't forget back in Texas. I've been feeling like Luka, how I bought that shit a blessing. Number one rule in Texas, keep it solid, ain't no telling.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford. Both men looking to remain undefeated on Saturday, July 29th on pay-per-view. We would like the fighters, both Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, to take their seats. They will be joined by their camps, including their head trainers, Derek James for Errol Spence and Brian Bomac McIntyre for Terence Crawford. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to conduct the Q&A, we present to you the host of Showtime Championship Boxing, Brian Custer.
Thank you, Ray. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to New York City, the Big Apple, for this press conference kickoff, Spence Jr. versus Crawford. I am Brian Custer, host of Showtime Championship Boxing, and man, what a year it has been for the sport. What a year has it been for Showtime Championship Boxing and Showtime pay-per-view. You know, our motto is deliver to the fight fans what they want. The best fighting the best. We started the year with Benavidez Plant. We had Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, and now the super fight. The best fighting the best. Errol Spence Jr. taking on Terence Bud Crawford. It is one of the most anticipated fights of this decade. It's a super fight, champion versus champion. Both of them unbeaten. And the key is both fighters are in their prime. The winner, not only making history as the first undisputed welterweight champion in this 4-belt era, but also walks away with the crown as boxing's pound for pound best fighter in the world. The fight is Saturday, July 29th, SHOWTIME pay-per-view from T-Mobile Arena in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. It is one of those era-defining type fights. And I'm talking in the spirit of Ali Frazier, Leonard Duran, Hagler Hearns, and of course Mayweather Pacquiao. It will, without a doubt, enhance the legacy of these two elite world champions. And the event is being brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. It's being promoted by Man Down Promotions and Errol Spence Jr. and by TBC Promotions, Terence Bud Crawford Promotions, and TGB Promotions as well. It goes without saying, folks, this is the place you want to be in on July 29th in Las Vegas. You want to have a ticket to say, I was there. I saw when those two went at it. You can purchase your tickets through AXS.com. AXS.com. Here's the particulars. Terence Bud Crawford, the WBO welterweight champion. He's unbeaten. He's 39-0. He's got 30 knockouts. Taking on the Truth, Errol Spence Jr., the unified WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight champion of the world, unbeaten as well. 28 victories, no defeats, and 22 knockouts. Together, these men have an astounding combined record of 67 wins, no losses, and 52 knockouts. AXS.com is where you get your tickets. Let me bring to the podium now one of the promoters of this fight. He's the president of TGB Promotions, Tom Brown.
Thank you, Brian. Good morning, everyone. I'll make this quick today so we can get to what we're all really here for today, and that's to hear from these two great world champions. But like I said yesterday at the LA press conference, this fight really is as big as it gets. We have the two best fighters in the world, both undisputed world champions in a generational fight. We haven't seen fighters with skills like this at 147 pounds since Leonard Hearns. Now, Terence Crawford became the undisputed champion at 140 pounds back in 2017. And now he's got a chance at history by becoming the first two-weight division undisputed world champion. But one thing's for sure, the winner of this fight will be the undisputed pound-for-pound king of boxing. Thank you.
Coming to the podium now, the man who's going to give you more details about the fight, all of the programming that will surround the televised portion of the pay-per-view of the evening. He's the president of Showtime Sports, Steven Espinoza.
Thanks, Brian. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't think there's any real discussion to be had. It's been a fantastic year for Showtime Boxing. Big fights, meaningful matchups week after week, together with our partners, Premier Boxing Champions and TGB Promotions. We put on 17 marquee events through July. 3 dates in February, 3 dates in March, April, June, and July, giving the boxing fans exactly what they're looking for. Coming up this weekend, we've got Tim Zhu on the schedule. Looking forward for July, we've got Boots Ennis and Frank Martin headlining. In the middle of this great run of fights, this industry-leading schedule, we've got this fight, the one that boxing fans have been waiting for, a mega event. I've described this as the perfect fight. And I think it is absolutely true. That's no exaggeration. We have every element the boxing fan would want. Two of the best, most skilled fighters in the sport, both of them with aggressive, fan-friendly, all-action styles, knockout power. It's an evenly matched fight. You know, at various points over the last few weeks, the odds have swung in favor of both Spence and Crawford. There's high stakes, there's history, there's legacy, there's overcoming adversity, there's personal drama, there's a rivalry. Long and short of it, this is everything a boxing fan could wish for at this point. Errol won his first title in 2017 with the 11th round knockout of Kell Brook. He's had 6 successful title defenses against outstanding competition. Lamont Peterson, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, among others. One of the strongest resumes in the sport. Terence Crawford won his welterweight title in 2018. Also made 6 successful title defenses, all of them by KO or TKO. And in fact, Terence has stopped his last 10 opponents in a row. And now he's looking to become the undisputed champion in a second division. But really, don't take my word for it about what this fight is about. Let me give you how you guys, the media, have described this. A matchup that will decide supremacy. The biggest event the sport can offer. A matchup to perfection. The most exciting fight this decade. An opportunity to become a superstar. That's what's at stake July 29th. It all kicks off with the first episode of All Access, Saturday, July 8th. Second episode, Saturday, July 15th. And of course, the pay-per-view, Saturday, July 29th, at special time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you.
It's time to hear from the camps. First, let me acknowledge on the Crawford side, Bud Crawford's assistant trainer, Isaul Dieguez. Good to have you, my friend. Coming to the podium now is the head trainer for the WBO World Champion. This man is the co-owner of B&B Boxing Academy in Nebraska. World-renowned trainer, he is Brian Bomac McIntyre.
What's up, everybody? Glad everybody came out to the press conference to support this big fight coming up. Thank Showtime, Stephen Espinoza, BBC, Errol Spence, Derek James. I especially want to thank my man, the champ, Bud Crawford, for putting his foot on the pedal, for making this fight happen. So I really ain't got too much to say that more than what I said yesterday. But I will tell you this. This is how the fight gonna go. The fight is gonna be tough. It's gonna be real tough. Errol's a good ass fighter. And I took my hat to him for what he had accomplished in his boxing career. I took my hat to you, Derek, man, for doing a good job with your fighters. The first couple rounds gonna be real tough. But then we're gonna start walking away with the fight, like we always do. Like my man said, Bud to stop the last 10 opponents. Just maybe, Errol gonna be number 11. So listen, y'all tune in, July 29th. Get your tickets. Y'all gonna miss something if y'all don't attend. Y'all gonna miss one of the most spectacular performances that you ever seen come out of Bud Crawford.
Okay, Bomac.
Thank you, Bomac. Now from the Spence side, let me acknowledge as well the father of Errol Spence Jr., Mr. Errol Spence Sr. See you there. Good to see you, sir. Jordan Isom as well here. Let me bring to the podium now, he's the trainer of the Unified Champion. 2017 Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year. 2019 Sports Illustrated Trainer of the Year. And also the 2022 Boxing Writers and ESPN Trainer of the Year. He's the owner of the world-class boxing gym in Dallas, Texas, Mr. Derek James.
Hello everyone, I'm very happy to be here. This is a very exciting event. I can't wait. I mean, I think it's something that everybody's been hoping to see, wanting to see. Now, it's not here, but everything is going on. Everybody's in camp. Can't wait to get it started because I know that Crawford's coming on with his A game, and Errol is going to be on his A game. We're going to see a phenomenal competition. And for me, I'm really kind of tired of talking about it. It's like it's work time. So I can't wait. And I know it's going to be a phenomenal night of boxing. I'm going to see Errol Spence shine. As he says, the thing that really gets me going is that one-sided ass-kicking that he normally puts on. And yeah, we're fighting a phenomenal fighter. At the same time, we're going to be who we are. Errol's not going to change. He's going to put the pressure, break him down. He's going to win the fight. No different than anything else, anybody else. Even though this is the best and most accomplished boxer in boxing, is Terence Crawford. 135-pound champ, 140 undisputed champ, and 147 WBO champ. With all that said, that's beautiful because we are here now, 4 guys standing on the podium, and everybody watching. And they're going to come out and see a masterpiece, and Errol Spence put together another phenomenal victory over another tough and very vicious and deadly fighter. It's all about being successful. That's what it's all about, and that's what you'll see on July 29th. Errol Spence becoming the undisputed champion of the world, just like the first day when he walked into professional boxing. That's exactly what he said he wanted to do. And that is exactly what he'll be. July 29th is the first ever in this era 4-belt undisputed champ. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Listen, you came here to hear from the fighters. Let's get right to it. Come to the podium now is a man who's got a 76% knockout percentage. Moved up to welterweight. You heard it. He has stopped every man he has faced since he's been at 147. Folks, this man is the former undisputed super lightweight champion of the world. He was the 2014 Fighter of the Year. He is the current WBO welterweight champion of the world, Mr. Terence "Bub" Crawford.
What's up, everybody? Let me say that again. What's up, everybody? That's what I'm talking about. I gotta be excited for this fight. This is a fight that's been marinating for years. Like I said before, I'll say it again. This is greatness. This is definitely greatness that you guys will be witnessing July 29th. I've been preparing my whole life for this moment right here. Moments like these, they don't come often. And this is my time. Like I said before, this is my time. This is the Terence Crawford era. Ain't no holding me back. Not Aaron, not Derek, nobody stopping me from accomplishing what I want to accomplish July 29th. A lot of people say why it took so long. Doesn't matter, we're here now. And July 29th, I can assure you, I can promise you, y'all gonna walk away and y'all gonna say, that kid is special. And y'all gonna mark me as one of the greatest of all time, right along with the Floyds, the Alis, the Fraziers. And y'all can sit there and say, oh, well, you ain't fought nobody. And my reply to that is, I guess Errol is just another nobody that I fought.
Thank you, champ. Come to the podium. This man has a 78% knockout percentage. 6 of his last 7 opponents, former world champions. 3 of them were current world champions. He took away their straps. He is the unified welterweight champion of the world. He's known as the Truth. Big fish, man down, Errol Spence Jr.
How everybody doing today? Good. I feel like this is the biggest fight in boxing. If you look at Terrence's style, look at my style, you already know, if you know our mentalities. He's not going to want to break. I'm definitely not going to want to break. But I feel like somebody got to break come fight night. And we need all y'all to support us because, I mean, we got to show these people in suits, we got to show these other fighters that there is a reward in taking risks. So the best got to fight the best, and we got to show people that, especially people in suits and these other boxers, that you fight the best, it's a reward for that. You know, and I'm just grateful to being here, man. Very blessed for this opportunity to be the first ever undisputed welterweight champion of the world and fighting a great fighter like Terence Crawford. I'm ready to put on a great show, a great performance, and show people how great I am and show people why I will be one of the best welterweights ever of all time. I'm telling you, do not want to miss this fight. This is going to be a great fight. I'm putting on a great show. I'm going to show everybody why I be breaking people. Make sure y'all tune in July 29th. It's going to be another man down, and it's strap season time.
Thank you, champ. Let's talk. And let's talk about this fight. Start with the trainers. Bomac, you said without a doubt, your guy's going to win on July 29th. Enlighten the people. Tell us why you believe Terence Bud Crawford is going to win this fight, and you believe in a stoppage.
Brian, I want to ask you a question, and everybody else out there. What beats ready?
What beat ready?
What beats ready?
Stay ready.
Been there and back. We've been there and back. We've been undisputed champion before. We've been in this position before. So this ain't nothing new to us. We just being more prepared because we know Errol's a good fighter. But we've been there. We've been in these lights before. Now, PBC, I commend them for getting Errol to this point. But we had to scrape through the dirt to get to undisputed at 140. We had to scrape through 147 to get to this point. So we was ready 10, 11 fights ago. We just going through the motions to pick up those 3 straps that he got over there in the Lenium title. This is why I know that Terence will be victorious July 29th.
Derek James, your rebuttal to that. Tell us why Errol Spence Jr. will be victorious July 29th.
Well, Errol Spence will be victorious because of the way he was brought up. He was brought up to be in the space that he's in because of the way he was developed. Each opposition being better and better and better and better. It wasn't like beating guys you were supposed to beat, beating guys everybody knew you were going to beat. So at this point, every fight he's fought was a step towards this day, this night, July 29th. That's what it was all about. From him saying he wanted to be the undisputed champion of the world when he started, to every step that Al and TGB, Sylvia Brad, every step they took towards Errol being the man that he is, facing the tough opposition, building more depth. Because this is like, we talk about skill, both fighters are skill, this fight is about depth. Who can endure the tough adversity that these fights is going to put them in through, and at the same time, somebody's faced these things, and some people haven't faced these things. And like what I'll say is that depth is the key. Depth is what the thing is going to push you through when you're tired, you get beat. How much more pain can you endure? The pain of being unsuccessful is far more worse than the pain it takes to be successful. So we push him through the pain, we're going to be successful. And that's why he'll be champion, again, undisputed champ on July 29th, because of everything he went through to get to this particular point.
But what does the victory on July 29th mean to you specifically, especially coming against Errol Spence Jr.?
Well, a victory July 29th for me will mean everything for me and my career to date. Being that a lot of people doubt me, and that's when I rise to the occasion, when I got all the odds stacked against me. Errol's a tremendous fighter. Like I told everybody before, I'm a fan. It is just business. I know I can beat him. I feel I can beat him. I see myself beating him. I visualized it numerous times before. Fighting Sean Porter. I told him, I said, listen, they don't even want to gauge me for Errol. I knew this time would be here, and I'm ready, more than ready. So when that time comes, July 29th, and my hand is rose, and I'm the new undisputed welterweight champion of the world, all I'm gonna say is I told you so. That's it.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't it your mother's birthday as well?
That's right.
Did you promise her something?
You know I ain't losing on my mama's birthday.
Errol, same question to you. What does it mean to be victorious on the 29th? But more importantly, what does it mean to get that victory over Terence Crawford?
It means everything. I mean, I feel like I've done everything I said I was going to do. And now the only last thing to do is to beat Terence Crawford. Yeah, he's a great fighter, has great ability, great willpower. But he's a great man too. I'm going to break him. And I'm going to show everybody why I am the best fighter in boxing, period. And show everybody why I am the #1 guy in boxing. Yeah, he's going to come and fight, but I'm going to break his will. I'm going to break him mentally, physically, and just show people why I am a great fighter. Despite what I've been to, the adversities and things like that, I always kept on the same path, and to be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. It's been a lifelong dream of mine. It's something I've been wanting for a long time, something I've been clamoring over. And regardless of any situation, I always stayed the course and knew that this fight was going to happen and that I will become victorious.
Errol, let me follow up on that. Because listening to Bud, he says, listen, you may talk about his resume, but he's been undisputed before. So this is nothing new to him. Therefore, he's coming in, already been there at the pinnacle. This is new to you. Your response to that?
I mean, it's cool, but I'm not the guy he fought to become undisputed. I'm not that guy. You know, I feel like that guy was not that good. You know, Regis stopped him in the first round too.
Two-time world champion.
Regis stopped him in the first round too, man. Like, who that guy beat to be a 2-time world champion?
He beat 2 champions.
Who?
He beat Troy Arnowski and he beat Ricky Burns, which was a 3-time world champion.
Troy who? Come on now, man. Come on.
And I think he went to Russia and beat him. And I think he went to Scotland and beat him. Then
come on, man.
He tried to be great and come to Omaha and beat me. I don't think you fought nobody that was a 2-time world champion.
When he ever been tested, he got stopped.
I don't think you was. You ever fought a champion that was two weight divisions, right?
It doesn't matter. All the titles I took from the champion. So what you saying?
Okay.
Every title I took, Sean Porter,
he was
champion.
He was a one-time one-weight champion.
It don't matter. I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Well, you got the opportunity.
Like I said, you line them up, I'm gonna knock them down every time. It don't matter what happens, personal life, whatever. Hey man, give me him. You sure you want him? Yeah, this is easy work. Get him out of
This ain't no easy work.
Hey, you want him? Yeah. Oh, I know it's not easy work. I definitely know it's not easy work.
Okay.
I definitely know that. I ain't that naive. I'm realistic.
I love this because one of the things you made when we were in LA, but you said, hey, look, this guy is so-called the big fish, but I'm gutting him on July 29th. Talk to us about that.
Well, you know, I like to go fishing. Everybody know those are my
Man, that's cat. He's not catching you with no fishing pole.
Hey, listen.
I'm big. He ain't catching me with no fishing pole. What does it look like catching Moby Dick with a fucking fishing pole?
They all been caught before.
Man, not with no fishing pole.
Every last one of them. And July 29th, he gonna be caught too. I got a big enough hook for him. I'm already reeling them in. July 29th, I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna gut him and I'm gonna fillet him.
You like have a submarine.
All right, we gonna catch him. Well, matter of fact, we already caught him. We just reeling them in right now. And July 29th, that's when we're gonna get him to the bank. Probably weigh him. You know, put him on a scale.
You ain't got a scale, bitch.
Chop his head off. Cut him from, you know, the gut, the little butt up. You know what I mean? Take the little vice grips, pull the skin off. Take the little knife.
You don't even sound good.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you
y'all like fish? How many of y'all like fish?
I love fish.
I bet your pops like fish too. You like fish, don't you, pops? Come on, you can say you like fish. You know what I mean? Your son a big fish, so he love fish too, you know?
No, I'm Jamaican, I smoke.
We gon' give his pops.
Yeah, hey, yeah. We Jamaican, man. We smoke bud. You already know how that goes. We legal bacon too, so we gonna smoke your ass up.
Hey, y'all do?
Legal bacon too, so we gonna smoke. We gonna roll you up and smoke you up too, man. Hey, y'all get that new bud strand, man.
Hey, but you know what the crazy part about it is? You know what I mean? Y'all do smoke bud in Jamaica. I forgot. But this ain't that. This ain't no bud. This ain't no kind bud. You feel me? This ain't the bud that you just can buy on the streets. It's that marinated bud that you hit one puff, you might be seeing stars like how high. Just know.
Terence, man.
He talking about the whack. We don't do that.
You're victorious on the 29th. You will be.
We don't smoke whack.
The first male to be undisputed in 2 different weight divisions.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it's gonna mean everything to me July 29th. And I can guarantee you, July 29th, you're gonna see a Terence Crawford that you have never seen before. Everybody always asking me, is this the best Terence Crawford? And I said, no, I got a lot to show. Errol may be that fighter to bring the best out of Terence Crawford. We shall see.
Errol, he said he's going to show on the 29th that this is the Bud Crawford era. What are you showing on the 29th?
Man, he can show what he want to show. You know, it might be his era after this fight. You know, after I beat him, you know, he might go on and, you know, win other titles and go up the weight class and win some more titles and, you know, do what he do. But he's not winning July 29th. So he can go and stop that nonsense.
What does it mean to you to be the first undisputed welterweight champion in this 4-belt era?
It's great. I mean, it means everything. This is what, you know, we lace up the gloves for. This was we used to watch, you know, as an amateur. You know, I used to always watch the old school fights and, you know, just glare them over and be like, man, one day I'm going to be in a fight like that. And I used to watch something called Legendary Nights from HBO where they're talking about Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns not the fight, just the events that happened before the fight, and showing the press conferences and the weigh-ins and showing the training camps and how it was. So, you know, I'm finally in the same scenario that the fights I used to watch back then, and it's just a great feeling, man, just to be in those shoes and, you know, seeing that and seeing everything come into existence and knowing that I can be the first ever undisputed welterweight champion of the world. And, you know, despite all the disses and the back and forth I go with Terence Crawford, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, there is, you know, mutual, it is a respect there, you know, for him. But all that comes out the door once it's fight night and before the bell ring. But once the bell ring, the respect definitely goes out the door. And it's wartime. It's time to fight. It's time to put on not only a great show, but it's time to prove everybody why I am a dominating fighter.
Guys, I only really have one question for you. And this is for, obviously, the media here, people watching. Hell, they're streaming this in Times Square right now. So for all those people in New York City, all across the country, people spend their hard-earned money, pay this pay-per-view, come out to Las Vegas. Terence Bud Crawford, what can you guarantee they're going to get on July 29th? Because Errol Spence Jr. says he's breaking your will that night.
Well, that makes for a great fight. So, July 29th, everybody, if you ain't got a ticket, if you didn't get a chance to get a flight to Vegas, buy the pay-per-view. You got two young, hungry lions going head-to-head for the throne. Errol Spence is a tremendous fighter. I'm a great fighter. He's accomplished a lot at the welterweight division. I accomplished a lot in the sport of boxing as a whole. This is the fight that everybody's been yearning for, and me and Errol coming together and making this fight for y'all, knowing the type of styles we both bring in to the table and the caliber of experience and technique that goes forth into training and coming to put on a great performance for you guys. He's going to bring it. I'm going to bring it. He's going to try to break my will like he said he is. I'm going to try to break his face. So that makes for a great, exciting fight. You know, he's always in exciting fights. Me, myself, I'm always in exciting fights. And the best man will win July 29th by the pay-per-view.
Let me cut to the chase. You've stopped everybody you faced at 147. Do you stop Errol Spence Jr. on July 29th?
If he get out of line, I swear to God, he gonna be the number 11.
Errol Spence Jr., same question. For all those people coming out to Vegas, buying the pay-per-view, this man says, you get out of line, he's stopping you. July 29th, what can you guarantee these folks are going to get on the 29th of July?
Well, he already know I'm getting out of line. I've been getting out of line my whole life, so it is what it is.
I'm about to put you in your place.
Hey, you're going to have to try. You're going to have to try, I guarantee you that. But like I say, man, y'all got to come out and support this fight. You can come to the fight or order the fight, man. We got to support these fighters out here. I'm gonna tell y'all stories out at LA Fitness, and I was running, and then a guy had stopped me. He was like, "Man, I bought your high-end shirts," and and he was just talking about how my shirts was high, and I was talking to him. We was just chopping it up, and I was like, "That's crazy. You complain about my shirt, but I'm sure if you go out, you go somewhere nice, you'll buy a Louis Vuitton shirt for $800, $1,000 a year, not complain." And that same guy who owned Louis Vuitton and own these high-end fashion places wouldn't even give you the time of day or even talk to you like I'm talking to you, right now. So, I mean, I'm just asking everybody to show some support and show people and show, the business boxing people and, everybody that, that it is a reward in taking risks. You know, just like how if you go to these basketball games, football games, and pay $20,000 to sit front row and get these seats and nobody's complaining. You know, support these fighters, man. Because this is how they earn their living. They literally putting their life on line to give y'all a great show. You know, they literally losing brain cells and, you know, could lose their life for y'all. So, you know what I'm saying, support us, please. Come out to the fight, watch the fight. Everybody talk about this fight. These are two great fighters fighting each other. We're bringing it back. It's been a great year for boxing. And for me, this is the best fight in boxing, especially style-wise. So let's just everybody tune in, man. It's going to be a great showing by me. I'm sure he's going to put on a great show and try to put on a great performance. But like I said, I'm the biggest. He ain't catching me with no damn fishing pole. I'm flipping his whole boat. I'm sinking him. Better come with a submarine, the USR, China, everything. But like I said, man, I'm the biggest shark. I'm Moby Dick. I'm the king. Ain't nobody stop me. Strap season, man down. Make sure y'all tune in. Y'all gonna see another great show and another performance.
I did catch it. You saying man down on the 29th?
Man down, strap me. I know the motto. Man down, strap season. Line them up. All that, man. Big fish. The biggest.
Fish fillet.
Hey, man. Fish fillet. Smoking on bud.
There you have it. It is July 29th. It is the
Put them in the dirt.
anticipated fight of the year, really of this decade. It is Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford. Guys, let's get a face-off. Let's put the belts. Let's get some face-off. Get the cams as well. Thank everybody for watching as well.
I got my Patrick. Got it back, Patrick. Go short.
Good? Back to the photo, please.
Yeah. Turn my mic back on. Turn my mic. Go ahead. And we gotta know where. I mean, we get 3% to these organizations. I mean, we gotta know where this money going to. I mean, a lot of times they get. Man, you got Canelo and Josh and all these guys, you know, making $50 million, and these brothers getting 3% of that. Where's it going to? How's it helping the fighters out? What are they doing with it?
You're going to face out first. You're going to face the TV cameras all the way in the back. You're going to face out first, then you'll go face to face. All the way in the back first, guys.
Jordan, thank you. Yep.
Terrence, all the way in the back, TV cameras up top.
Technically, it's like 9%.
All right, guys, now right down here in the front row, please. Right in the front row. Right here, guys, right here.
Yeah, we talking great. Over here.
All right, let's please go face to face now.
It is. It is.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Yes, sir. Keep it going, Sam. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it a little bit more. Yes, sir. It's work time. You good, guys? Hold on. It's work time, y'all. All right. It's work time. Turn out and face the front. Work time, y'all. It's work time. Cameras in the back again first. All the way in the back, please. Bo Max, we're ready for you. Hey, hold on. I don't know. Hey, guys, the team, we gotta get down, buddy. I want to see some too many shots. It's work time. All the way in the back, guys. All the way in the back, Bo.
Sam, make space for
Work time, y'all. It's work time. It's work time, y'all. It's work time. First row. First row in the middle, please. Let's look at first row in the middle. Y'all ready for this? Yes, sir. Y'all got your hot sauce? Can't wait. Y'all got your hot sauce? Can't wait. All right, then go for spirit. Yep. All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. That was the press conference there. So yeah, exciting stuff. So all right, man. So what you guys think about that press conference, dude? Interesting stuff for sure. Can you guys hear me? What's going on, League? League of Legacies in the building. That's right, Black Father Figures. What's going on with you? You guys can hear me all right, right? All right, perfect. So, my initial thoughts on this, I feel like Bud looked a little bit more relaxed today than he did yesterday. I still think he looks stiff. I think this is a bigger stage than he's ever been on before in his life. So it's clear to me that has had some impact. Errol's still cool, calm, and collective, laid back. I like the back and forth talking about Filet-O-Fish and all that good stuff and flipping over boats and smoking on buds and new strands and potatoes and hot sauce and all that other good stuff. Though that's all good. I still think they need to delve into it a little bit more in terms of the things that led up into making this the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, the supposed ducking and all that good stuff. But overall, I thought it was a good press conference. The New York press conference really didn't feel as big as the one that Gervonta and Ryan Garcia had, but nevertheless, it was still a really good press conference. Now, I've said this in the past, and I'm going to say it again. I always, and Jason knows this for sure, I always like to see how fighters look next to each other because it tells me a lot. And people want to say that size doesn't matter in a fight. Of course it does. Now, it's not the determining factor, but in some cases it can be. I think here for Crawford, and I've said this multiple times, I've always felt that Terence Crawford is a product of being extraordinarily athletic for a boxer, having great counterpunching skills, but primarily those counterpunching skills are aided by the fact that he has range. He can control the range. He can punch from a distance that you typically can't hit him from. When you look at Errol, and Terence stand next to each other, and I saw some people saying online yesterday that Errol had on boots and that's what made him look taller. Well, they look to have on similar types of shoes today, and Errol still appeared to be taller. When you look at their arms, Errol's arms look just as long as Terence Crawford's arms, which would suggest to me that Terence Crawford won't be able to counter from range like he's been able to do in the past against the likes of like a Mean Machine who had short arms, a Sean Porter who also has very short arms and is short in stature. So I think that's going to play a part in this fight. I truly do believe that Terence is going to have a harder time in this fight just because he won't be able to punch from range as he normally does. Now, counter punching skills still going to be there. Errol's going to have to be extremely sharp. Those fundamentals are going to have to be intact and ready to go on fight night because Terence is very good at placing his punches and his timing is very good. But Errol will also be able to strike from that same range, which I think could possibly make Terence Crawford a little bit more timid in this fight than maybe he's normally been in the past. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. What you guys think about the actual press conference? As a matter of fact, man, I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open up the phone lines in case anybody wants to call in and discuss, or you can talk about it in the chat. But I am curious to hear what you guys have to say in regards to this press conference. It looks to be, I don't know. So what are you guys' thoughts? What's your thoughts? Oh, you haven't seen it yet, Jay? It was a little bit of what we saw yesterday. Like I mentioned earlier, I think Terence Crawford was a bit more relaxed in this particular conversation. And we got the 954, which I believe is the League of Legacies. You're on with the Angry Man podcast. This is Greg. I believe we got the League of Legacies in the building. What's going on, man?
You believe correctly. What's up, man?
What's going on?
I got a question for you, bro.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, man. Because I wasn't going to say this, but from the get-go, as soon as the fight was, even before the fight announced, I figured Bud would be in trouble. But, man, Errol is looking like he is just trying to hurt this dude. I think I even said it to you when I called in before. I'm like, man, I don't think he's going for a knockout. I really think he's going to make him quit in the ring. And that's the type of energy I'm getting from him throughout these press conferences.
Yeah, I get the same energy. Because you hear the same, like, the Derrick James interview that he did with, I think it was Markel Boxing that we did a video on. He mentioned about the style. He said his style is to break your face and break your ribs. And now Errol Spence is on here saying, I'm going to break his will. I'm going to break him. I'm going to break his will. You've heard that multiple times. That is the game plan. So that tells me, and I feel that Errol Spence can fight in multiple styles. He can fight moving forward. I think he can fight moving backwards as well. He's fought in several different styles. If you look at some of the opponents that he's fought, the Danny Garcias, the Mikey Garcias, the Sean Porters, you name it. But I think he's going to press forward in this fight because he is looking to make Bud quit. Now, I don't know if that's the overall strategy. I don't know if that's just what he's saying. I don't know if that's what DJ is agreeing to, but it feels like at the end of the day, the overall strategy is to walk him down and break him down. So we'll see. And I think that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, man. I've been watching this thing and watching his whole attitude. And if you really look at it, Spence is petty. He real petty.
He is.
You look at his shirt.
He's like me.
Things he says.
He's like me.
I don't know if we can crown him with that one. Correct? We gotta let that simmer some.
He's not as petty as me. He's not quite there yet.
He's not quite there yet. You're trying to push this man into a realm he's not ready for. But,
gotcha.
But like when you look at all of that stuff, man, we're like, I'm literally like, man, this is not gonna go well for Bud because like if that's the goal, like at first when I first thought this, I was, you kind of joke around like how that'd be funny, but not really. But man, I would not be surprised if he hurt Bud and then back off. Nah, go ahead, recover. And if he do that, man, because I just feel like he's trying to embarrass him. And when you think about, all the stuff that's been going on in regards to like all the stuff that Crawford said, because remember how he looked going down the escalator when he was like, man, you ain't had to say all the other stuff. You could have just let us know, man. It wouldn't have been nothing. And so you look at that, you look at the amount of money he lost because he could have taken another fight. So that's millions there. You hear him talking about the sanctioning bodies, like how is that helping boxers? So if you're thinking about, if he's thinking about his money, then you question, is he thinking about what Crawford's move messed up for the other boxers that was on the card? Like I just think he's too calm. He's that scary calm.
Yo, so I think there's a couple of things I'd like to say about that. Not only did he mention about the 3% that he had to give to the sanctioning bodies, but in order to make this fight, I guarantee you Errol Spence had to concede in areas where he probably shouldn't have, right? Meaning on the dollars, I guarantee you Bud is getting a bigger split than what his pay-per-view sales would suggest he should be getting. And that's probably 100%. Part of the reason why he's agitated in regards to that. But not only that, let's think about everything. We've heard Errol Spence say in the past that I read everything. I see and I read everything. I guarantee you that truth behind Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford, that video we did, I think it's hit like maybe it's over 200,000 views. I bet you he's seen it because I know Bernie the Boxer's seen it. He's actually been in the comment section talking trash about it. So Errol sees all of these different things about, what's being said, and he hears what the legends are saying, that he'll lose to this guy because of this. And he hears what Antonio Tarver says when he says you know, he can't make a motherfucker miss, make a motherfucker pay, and all that other stuff. He hears all this stuff, right? So he has something to prove going into this match. Hearing them say that he is an underdog, I think he is okay with that, because I think he's okay with it because it motivates and drives him, right? So I think he's coming for war. Now, will he be successful? I say that this is still a 50-50 fight. I lean more towards Spence even more after the press conference, because again, I keep telling him, I'm saying over and over and over and over and over again, because I think it's going to play a part in the fight. Terence Crawford will not be able to control the range as he usually does. Now that I've seen those two guys standing next to each other, how does he deal with a guy that can hit him from range similarly to how he's able to hit that other fighter from range? I got to see that. I want to see how he deals with that.
Yeah. I mean, you know how I feel about it. Like, I don't think it's a good fight for Terence. I think EJ is going to have his way. He's going to control it as usual. If this was under normal circumstances, my prediction would be that he'd come out the first 3 rounds showing one style, because the amount of styles he's capable of is underrated. And then after that, he'll switch it up to a completely different style, and he'll switch it up every 2 to 3 rounds so he doesn't kind of get into a pattern that Crawford can recognize, just to continue to confuse him, since Crawford likes to sit back and study and analyze. And by doing that, he'll just keep catching him off guard because he can't really complete that analysis. But like I said, he is trying to be petty. So I don't see it going like that at all. But if it does go like that the first 3 rounds, I mean, I still think it's an easy fight for him, just because I have not seen Crawford stop anyone from imposing their will on him, for the most part. It just in regards to like ring generalship, like he's good at a lot of things, and I think he's just overrated based off of competition. You know, like I preface it with that, and so because of the competition it's up against, it looks a lot greater than it is. But then also other things make him look bad because of the competition. But overall, I mean, I think everybody, well, I think all the Spence fans will enjoy it. Bud fans going to feel like you when you were like, man, I ain't showing up.
I hope if he lose, I hope they do show up. We need to have these discussions now. Now, if it goes in reverse, I will not hold myself to that same standard. Anything else you want to share with the people, man?
Just in the 0.05% chance that I'm wrong, I'll show up and I'll own it. But the great Leonard has spoken. A legend in Greg and everyone else's mind as well.
Exactly.
And I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all enjoy your day.
I'm a legend, but only in my mind. All right, man. Appreciate you, League.
Take it easy.
All right, later. Yo, we got the 816 in the building. You're on with Greg of the Angry Man Podcast. What's your name?
Hey, this is Tremaine.
What's going on with you, Tremaine?
Hey, man, great. I want to first give kudos to you, the Angry Man, the whole team. You know, I see you ain't got your man with you right now. I suspect he'll be with you later today. So I want to give y'all kudos first.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, and then also encourage you guys to continue doing y'all thing. I'm very impressed.
Thank you, man. Greatly appreciate it.
All right, now let's get to what we just watched, man. I'm very excited, man. In fact, I'm gonna go out and tell you, and you can write it down. I believe they're gonna do 1.5 or more. For me, I really like hearing how they're gonna go about marketing the fight. I think it has had, in a way, I'm thinking it is at the right time to hear. Also to know that it's gonna be they got a second fight lined up. So I really think it's gonna be about 1.5 plus pay-per-view. So that's one thing. The second thing is want to touch on is just I see Bud. And one of the things I see is, Bud's from Omaha. I'm from Kansas City. So, I've been down in Omaha. And Bud's a small town guy, and one of the things that I'm seeing, he looked a little bit more comfortable today, but I don't think he'll ever be fully comfortable on the big stage. We in Vegas, and it's a big stage, and he has no history. I heard them mention, he did, Undisputed at 140, but this is the big stage, and Bud has never mentally been on that level, nor has his trainer. And so I'm looking, I seen that. Also, you mentioned size. Yes, size does matter. From the height, because, people could say you got an arm length, but if somebody taller than you, the trajectory is different. So I think size does matter, and it does show me, I do see who's the bigger fighter, and maybe the longer fighter, from what I can see, and that all matters. And then I did want to just touch on Errol. As I look at Errol, him and Derek James, they seem very calm and focused. And so I know, for watching boxing, that mentally you have that matters, and I think that's what they're discussing. And so I'm excited about the fight. I will be down there, so I got my tickets. So I'm looking to enjoy who I'm picking. I'm picking Errol Spence, and kind of the reasons why. I think Bud gonna try to take away the jab, but I just don't see him taking away the jab. But the jab is the first thing I'm gonna watch in the fight. Jab, and I'm gonna look at the foot. I'm gonna see if Errol is able, one, to get outside when he wants to, put his foot on the outside when he wants to. I'm gonna look and see if Errol is able, he does that, put his foot on the inside and bait you to throw that right, so he can counter with that left. I'm gonna kind of look at that, and then far as distance, I'm gonna look and see if Errol is able to cut off that ring, and I am for Bud gonna see how quick he is. So them be a few things that I look at. For me, they're gonna decide the fight. I do got Errol. If Bud don't get him out, I think Bud is a puncher chance. I believe that he do got a puncher chance to knock Errol out by the 6th round. I think if we go into the late rounds, I see Errol knocking him out in the 10th round, or if they go to 12 rounds, him winning on the scorecard. So Bud got to have puncher chance.
Yeah, I mean, definitely he has a puncher's chance because he's knocked out everybody he's been in the ring with at welterweight. So he definitely has that. Bud has the ability. My thing is this: if Bud has enough power to get Errol Spence's attention immediately, then maybe Errol becomes a little bit more hesitant to come into, try to get on the inside because he doesn't want to get clipped with something, specifically something that he doesn't see. So, I mean, if that's the case, then maybe Terence has the ability to go 12 rounds and beat Errol. If Terence can't hurt Errol, fight's gonna be a wrap very quickly. Like 7 it's gonna be over.
And I think like that too, because what I do is I kind of go back to what I've seen. I think one of the key things, 2 fighters I mentioned to you, Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray came up on a time where there was other fighters that were bigger and stronger, and him having that enough power to keep them honest mattered. I look at Floyd. People could say, "Oh well, Floyd wasn't knocking people out later in his career," but he gave you enough to say, to think of before you stepped in, which gave him that extra time to get in some clean punches. So that's what I'll be looking for. What you just said, I'll be looking for that as well.
Yeah, if Errol starts to find success, meaning taking angles to get on the inside without having to take too much damage. And that's been my thing with Errol. Like, now that I see them next to each other, I think Errol's jab is going to be effective in preoccupying Terence Crawford. Now, Terence may try to jab over the top of it, and that's what I'm thinking he might try to start off doing as well. Start off in an orthodox stance to see if he can take away the jab by trying to jab over it or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe he might go to I don't know. He might try to go into a southpaw stance and maybe try to, knock down the jab or parry the jab or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Can I add one thing? Add one thing in there. I watched 4 Buds fights. I think with the Green Machine, Gamboa, Dong. When he won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name?
Indongo.
I watched Benavidez. I watched them 4 fights.
Mm-hmm.
Bud, every time they clinch, Bud never swung. So I'm going to also look at when they clinch, because I know when Earl clinch, he giving you a couple. I want to see if, I seen that. That's the one chink in Bud's armor that I saw, and I saw it in 4 different fights, and no one talks about it. But when Bud clinches, he doesn't throw punches. He ties up, holds, and then lets the ref break him up. I never, you might want to, if you do get time, check. He doesn't punch his way out of clinches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of work from the inside. Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of work from the inside. Now, maybe I'm not saying that he can't do any inside work, but my thought would be his inside work probably isn't at the level of like a Errol Spence. Floyd was and this is why I always get I get tired of hearing the Terence Crawford praise, because they praise him in a way like he's Floyd. And Floyd literally, no, seriously, they praise him like he's this extraordinary talent. Floyd could move forward, backwards. Floyd could fight inside, outside. Floyd was defensively responsible. Floyd did every single thing. We saw what Floyd looked like against Maidana when Maidana fought him primarily inside. Maidana was getting tagged. Remember when if you go back and watch that first round between Maidana and Floyd Mayweather, there's this moment on the ropes where Maidana has Floyd pinned on the ropes, and Floyd comes under with a body shot, a right-handed body shot, and Maidana stepped away immediately this isn't going to be as easy on the inside like that, because Floyd could do it all. Now, I'm not saying that Terence Crawford can't fight on the inside. I'm not saying that he can't at all, because I'm sure he can, but I don't think it's to an elite level. So let's stop talking about him being at this ultra elite level. Maybe he's going to show that, but the level of competition doesn't suggest that he's all that.
Hey, and let me throw this in there on top of that. The deal is, I think they built, I want to give kudos to Bob Arum. Mm-hmm. He did a good job building Terence Crawford, because they built a good narrative of who Terence Crawford is. And one thing that I don't believe he is, based on I'm looking at his fights, he's not a complete fighter. He's just not. And they build that narrative as though, he's this complete, Sugar Ray Leonard. No, Floyd Mayweather, and he even threw Floyd up. And I think one time where Earl said, "You ain't no Floyd Mayweather."
Exactly.
So
you ain't no Floyd.
So I'm being honest with you. I'm getting scared for Bud, and I am. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me when I was scared for Sugar Ray Leonard when he fought
Hagler.
Why didn't hear you?
Hagler.
Yes, man. Do you know? And then when I saw him, I think it was the second or third. I kind of saw it. You know how you could see he could take the punch. He could take a little of the punch, and then remember we just talked about he was able to hit Hagler, and I seen Hagler pause, and I said, "Oh, he got Hagler's attention." So I was like, "Okay, we gonna win," and but I have never seen Terence Crawford show me anything. So because of his competition, I don't know what Terence Crawford gonna do. All I know is what Earl has done and what I've seen in Terence Crawford, and I'm scared for him.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening, man. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. We'll see what Terence Crawford has to bring. I think Terence Crawford can come to the ring with several different game plans in order to try to offset Errol. I personally don't think any of them are going to work. And I also think Errol can fight in multiple ways and bring multiple different aspects to the ring. So we'll see what ends up happening. Anything else you want to share with the people?
Yeah, I just want to say this, though. I would one time, y'all go back to that Garcia fight. I really think a lot of people do not appreciate. I think that's one of Earl's best fights. I know they, everybody was counting Earl out until he won. Then he's a big bully, right? But we're talking skill, because skill is what matters. And to me, Earl demonstrated to me that he had the skills to be on the back foot. He was a boxer. Earl, if he win this, I think he should go to Hall of Fame. That's just me.
He will. He absolutely will. But, man, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
All right, take it easy, big man. Y'all keep making it happen.
All right, we will, man. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was our guy calling in, talking about the fight. Still got the lines open. We got somebody else calling in. All right. So I got the 857 in the building. I know this is Walt FSU all day, every day. What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, the funniest part of that press conference was when Terence started naming them dudes. He went to Russia. I mean, he could have just took some names out the phone book and named them dudes. Bro. Yeah. That was hilarious, man. That was man. They're both great fighters, but Terence should never bring up resume, bro. It's just he shouldn't. He should just go on what people seen him do, skill wise. Because his resume is trash. You can't name any of them dudes that Errol wouldn't have mopped the floor with. It's I want Errol to bring up that Amir Khan, because he's always throwing Ugas 4 losses in Errol's face, and it's Amir, come on, man. Amir Khan, Ugas would mop Amir Khan.
Yeah, so I've talked about that in the past as well, the resume thing, and the Crawford fans love to run to that, and Terence Crawford does love to run to that as well. The accomplishments. But accomplishments they have to be taken into the proper context, right? So if I came to you and told you I won 5 basketball championships, it would be impressive if I did it in college or the NBA. But if I told you that I did it against some little leaguers when I was 18 years old, then it's not very impressive at all, right? So context matter. Who you did it against matters. We've talked about the Indongos of the world. We've talked about what's my, I'm losing his name right now.
Jeffy Horn, all them dudes.
Gamboa. Gamboa was someone who had been knocked down in his 2 prior fights, and his best weight class was 126. So he went to 130, and then he went to 135 to fight Terence Crawford.
Now, right, I watched that, yep.
Yeah, so it's people are trying to translate, Gamboa was a pound-for-pound fighter when he fought him. Yeah, he was a pound-for-pound fighter at 126 who didn't look the same at 130 or 135 and had gotten put down 2 times in his prior 2 fights. It's very clear in that regards. And so, when you look at Indongo, when you look at what's the dude's, God, I'm losing names today, and his name's Postal. When you look at those guys, they lost Delerme. They lost the vast majority. They had a losing percentage after they fought Terence Crawford. Now the question, but people want to say, but they were champions when they fought Terence, and they were they had a record of this. That's where Errol Spence, when he says Top Rank has great matchmaking, that's what he's talking about.
I know it's crazy.
Postal was a guy that had been built up, that he put against another guy that he built up. And they fought, and the guy, Terence Crawford, beat the other guy that he had built up. That doesn't mean that guy was great, because after
the best at that, putting guys in fights where they know they're going to win. I just want to see how Terence is going to react when he fights a dude that's just not like you said, just somebody he knows he's going to beat. Because I've watched Terence's whole career. He's a beast, but I've never seen him in there. That I've watched fights with all my boys, and I was asking my boy the other day, you remember Terence's fight? Did you ever think that the dude had a chance in that fight? And they didn't. It's the competition level is totally different in this. So I want to see how he's going to react when he hits some flush and dude be just okay. I just want to see his reaction to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'm not counting Terence out, because Terence can fight, but I got to see it with somebody like Errol, because I've never seen him fight anybody like Errol or that competition. You know what I'm saying? It's so when all that quick little, step back counter. And here's one thing I want people to stop saying. Terence Crawford is a left-handed, is is a southpaw. He's not a ambidextrous fighter. Every time, if you go back and watch his fights, when he fights right-handed, he gets caught constantly. He has to fight left-handed. If he goes back to right, Errol's gonna eat him alive. He has to fight this fight at in his best stance. Because if he tries to switch up, man, just like Derek Chang says, we know you're gonna switch. He's not gonna come ambidextrous in this fight because it will hurt him. He has to stay and to be a mano southpaw. Because if he tries to switch up like that, he's gonna cook him, man.
I don't disagree with you at all. When you think about, I've said this so many times, it's like they oh man, Terence found something and he went to southpaw and it allowed him to do so and so.
He's always southpaw, dude.
Dude, he's just a southpaw. He's a guy that starts off again. Derek James has spoken to this, and I've spoken to this many times before. Back in the day, old school trainers would teach you to, because all these guys can fight out of two stances. You don't think Floyd can fight out? I've seen Floyd switch to southpaw. You know, all these guys, man, Shane Mosley, all these guys could fight out of southpaw or orthodox.
Boots is the only dude recently that I see is just as good out of each side. Most guys who drop flip sides, they're not as good out of one side. Terence is not as good at right-handed. And in the Gamboa fight, that's when he got caught.
Yeah,
he was shook when he switched right hand. He went right back to left.
Yeah, exactly. Because
and then he started winning again.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's not really a orthodox fighter, and so he was able to do all that switch hitting against lesser competition. Derek James pointed that out, that he was able to do that against lesser competition. What happens when you step up? Well, when he steps up, typically he fights the vast majority of the fight out of the southpaw stance because he is a southpaw.
Yeah, and it's like dude was saying earlier, the clinching part of it too. It's like Errol's going to be on him 24/7 in that. And I've never seen Terence fight somebody that's not going to give you a chance to breathe. And it's like that's the intriguing thing to me. I give Terence a lot of props. He's nasty. But I've only seen I've been watching his fights recently just to go, and I'm like, man, he's really not in there with, even when he fought Benavidez' brother. And Benavidez' brother gave him a fight just got shot. You know what I'm saying? I got to see it first. And if he proves me wrong, man, 100% love and props to him. But I just can't see it, man.
Yeah, I don't see it today. Now, do I think I got this fight? Honestly, I say it's a 50-50. I got this fight right now, 51-49 or 52-48 in favor of Errol. I just think Errol's going to be harder to hit than what Terence Crawford thinks. I think Errol's going to be able to hit him from range that he's not going to be used to. And then I think that's going to force Terence to become more aggressive. And I think Errol's going to then start to take angles to get on the inside and start throwing body shots.
Terence is not going to be able to do that thing where he throws that I think it's his left and just pulls straight back, because he usually does that because his arm length is so much bigger than everybody else. It's only a little bigger than Errol. So Errol, one thing that I love that he does, he'll come and dip the shoulder and hit you with it and then come off, boom, with a hook. I gotta see. I've never seen nobody do that to Terence.
Yep. I don't disagree with you. I think, and I'm not sure if his reach is actually longer. When they were standing side by side, Errol looks taller. If you look at their arms look to be their hands look to almost be at the same spot, which would suggest that their reach is either the same.
It's very close. It's very close. But Terence, you got to give him props. He's just like, I play ball with dudes who are same size as me, but their arms got a couple inches on me. And he's got long arms, but they're not much longer than Errol's. I think it's going to be shorter than anybody that he's fought at welterweight. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
This one's going to be one of the ones that we remember. You know what I'm saying? For a minute, like when we were younger, like it's going to bring a twinkle to the eye. I think.
I agree. Well, anything else?
But I'm gonna let you get into everybody else, brother. You have a great day, man. I'll be hitting you up on the weekend.
All right, man. Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
Later. All right, man. We're probably gonna go for another. We'll probably go until about 1 o'clock, because there'll be about 2 hours of covering the fight. But no, all interesting and good points that were made by the callers. Greg, can I help if you like? I mod on a few channels. Oh, okay, absolutely, man. Just email me, or or I may just come back through here and read the chat to get the names of the people and drop them in there, because yeah, definitely the channel has grown. I think the people who we had in here as moderators, we haven't done that since we had about 2,000 subscribers, I think 1,500 or 2,000, something like that. And now we're at roughly, I don't know, a little over 7,500. So we definitely need more moderators. Yeah, man. So no, really good points by everybody that called in today. And I want to make sure I'm clear on something too. And hey, before I even go there, we got 75 people in the building, 52 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit that like button. It helps people find the content, or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but I'm sure you do. But yeah, hit that like button for me. And if you're new here, this is AM Sports Media, the Angry Man Podcast. Jason and I drop content on a regular basis, so become a part of the family. I don't want people to think that we are dismissing Terence Crawford. We're not dismissing Terence Crawford whatsoever. Terence Crawford, I've said on multiple occasions, he is an extraordinarily good offensive fighter. He truly is. But the notion that he is this extraordinary overall fighter has been blown out of proportion. He's not defensively responsible, which will give Errol Spence an opportunity. He has relied on his athleticism and his range in order to beat most of the opponents that he's fought. He won't have that luxury against Errol Spence. He'll have the luxury of the athleticism, but not necessarily the luxury of the reach. And so it makes for a very intriguing fight. Now, Terence has knocked out everybody that he's fought at welterweight. He's been able to clip him. Part of that has to do with the fact that he has great counterpunching skills. But unlike like a Sean Porter or somebody like that, Errol won't have to reach like that in order to get to him. And then Errol, again, is going to be very precise and calculating in how he approaches Terence Crawford, understanding that Terence Crawford is a counterpuncher. So he compared Terence yesterday to Danny Garcia. And Danny is an excellent counterpuncher, but there are ways to deal with counterpunchers. Not only that, sometimes you can set up a counterpuncher to be counterpunched. But he did admit that Terence Crawford is a bit faster. So, of course, you know, he's going to have better timing against him. But overall, I just feel like I got to lean towards Spence in this fight. And we'll see how it ends up actually going. Just looking at the chat section to see if there's any other comments in regards to this fight or anybody else looking to call in. I'm probably going to go for about another 5 minutes or so. So just let me know. But yeah, man, I can't wait. So this was the last presser for this week. I'm sure these gentlemen will start to release more and more content, doing interviews during the next couple of weeks. Of course, we're going to be covering all of it. You know, this is the hottest sport, or this is the hottest topic in the sport right now. Not a whole lot of other things that are going on currently in the sport. You know, we've seen Canelo duck another opponent, which is sad. We've seen some interaction between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. We've talked a little bit about T.O. We got to do some videos around 140 pounds division, which is the plan. And we also need to drop our pound for pound ranking. Actually, it's going to be it's not our ranking. It's actually going to be you guys' ranking. So we gotta do that. Set up the poll so you guys can tell us who are the top 10 pound for pound fighters in the world. This is a mega fight. Let's stop talking about the duck. Ducknello, gotcha. That's enough clout for a duck. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, guys. Well, it doesn't seem like anybody else is calling in. I am going to go ahead and wrap this one up for today. I definitely got another video on. Actually, we have 2 other videos on deck. One will drop more than likely today. Actually, it'll probably drop in the next hour or so. And then the other one, I don't know, it'll probably drop tomorrow. And if there's anything else that pops up in the sport, certainly we'll be addressing it as it comes. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. This was a review of the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford live press conference. Joe Pesci, what's going on with you, man? Appreciate everybody for joining us. Thank you. And we will be dropping content soon. Maybe we might do another live stream sometime this week before Sunday. We got to figure that part out. But thank you guys for joining us. Until next time, peace. Salute, Mr. Vegas. Salute.